Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Monday, June 29th, 2020. A lot has changed since this time yesterday as the cold front has swept through much of the geographic area. We're seeing much cooler temperatures this morning. We've had some scattered showers across the northern half of the geographic area, and the winds have died down quite a bit. We do still have some gusty southwest winds expected this afternoon over southeast Utah. And across the far southern tip of the Great Basin, the conditions won't be quite as cool, and so the fires that are burning down there may still have the potential for an active day. For precipitation yesterday, eastern Idaho received quite a bit, up to over an inch of rain in these green areas, and a couple of higher spots in northern Utah as well. Western Idaho and portions of Nevada were on the drier side as that low swung through. And we did see some lightning associated with those thunderstorms. The past 24 hours were quite active as far as a new initial attack goes, and some of these fires got quite big as well, and were quite problematic as they were positioned close to the urban interface. That was due in large part to those very strong southwest winds we had through much of the day yesterday. And as I said, those winds will have already died down, and we're not expecting very windy conditions for the remainder of the work week. Precipitation for the past 7 days is shown here. This doesn't include what we got yesterday, so there will be quite a bit more in eastern Idaho and northern Utah. But over the past 7 days, we did see some precipitation move into portions of central Nevada and southwest Idaho and even eastern Utah. So definitely helping to calm things down just a bit. And as compared to normal, we still have some very dry pockets out there, western Idaho, northwest Nevada, and southern Utah. Our ERCs will be on the downward trend for the next couple of days. These values are current as of 1 p.m. yesterday afternoon. So with that cold air moving in overnight, we certainly expect these values to decrease for all but maybe the far southern and southeast portions of Utah for today. Again, looking closer at some of these zones across the south, which have a better chance of staying on the warmer, drier side today. Those values are right at normal, right at the peak fire danger that we expect to see this time of year. And we will expect those values to come down over the next couple of days with just general cooling in those areas. But we will start to warm up towards the weekend once again. Live fuel moistures for a couple of sites are shown here. We're looking at sagebrush for the Uinta Basin, which is near normal, and a sagebrush site for the higher elevations of south central Utah there. And those values are actually below normal, setting new records actually for the time of year. So something to watch out for there. This morning's satellite imagery is showing this very strong, unseasonably cold even low pressure system moving into the Great Basin. This is quite unusual for the end of June. Very cold temperatures across the north, snow expected over the higher elevations, and this low will be with us mainly today and tomorrow, and then move off to the east, and we'll begin to see temperatures slowly recovering. So for this afternoon, that low pressure system will continue to dominate the weather pattern, bringing very cool temperatures to much of the Great Basin, even cold temperatures to the north and the higher elevations, with some high elevation snow expected. Further south, still expecting dry, warm conditions out ahead of that low, and some gusty winds over southeast Utah. So looking at more closely at the winds, we do have some stronger winds coming out of the north and west in northern Idaho behind that low, but those shouldn't be a problem with the higher relative humidities. Those winds over southeast Utah, however, will be accompanied by low relative humidities and warmer temperatures. As for the weather this afternoon, showers will be in place over much of Idaho and even into northern Nevada and northern Utah. And we may even see some high elevation snow showers possible over most of the mountains of Utah. On Tuesday, that low begins to quickly move off to the north and east, ushering in warmer, drier air from the west. And we will quickly get back close to near normal temperatures anyway for the time of year within the next couple of days. Winds will still be generally on the lighter side for most of Utah and Nevada on Tuesday, with some higher wind speeds over Idaho and western Wyoming. Maximum temperatures on Tuesday are still expected to be fairly cool for the time of year, with highs in the 70s in Utah, a little bit warmer air already moving into western Nevada. On Wednesday, that low backs a little bit further to the west over southern Canada. This will continue to bring some drier air into the Great Basin, but may increase wind speeds just a bit across the central portion of the area. Warming and drying will continue across the Great Basin. So a closer look at those winds, it does show a slight increase over eastern Nevada and western Utah, still below red flag warning criteria. Minimum relative humidities are low on Wednesday across much of Nevada and even Utah, with single-digit RHs expected over far southeast Utah. The 3-day precipitation totals are shown here, with Idaho expecting a pretty good day today with that precipitation, and again even into northern Nevada and northern Utah and the higher elevations. After today, the precipitation will definitely drop off. On Thursday, continued warm and dry conditions are expected across the geographic area, with possibly some breezy southwest winds in place as well. Portions of central and southern Great Basin will begin to dry out, with those dryness levels returning to brown and yellow across northern Nevada. More of the same is expected on Friday. It looks like there is a little bit of monsoon moisture that tries to come up through New Mexico, but whatever does come up will be very short-lived. Continued warm, generally dry conditions are expected for Saturday as the high pressure sets up over the Four Corners area. It doesn't look like we'll get too much moisture up into the Great Basin anyway, although there's a little bit over the southwest. The next big thing, we'll continue to look at this low pressure system off the Pacific coast. Many of our dryness levels return to brown over Utah and Nevada. And more of the same expected for Sunday, with drying conditions and warming temperatures region-wide. 7-day totals for precipitation are shown here, really just looking for most of this precip to come today and maybe lingering into tomorrow, but then dry after that until we get into the weekend, and then maybe we'll see some limited moisture moving into the higher elevations of eastern Utah. The extended forecast from the Climate Prediction Center for July 6th through the 12th is calling for continued below normal temperatures expected over the west coast. Again, we can see that next area of low pressure beginning to move in, at least developing off the Pacific coast. That will keep temperatures cool across the west, and then above normal precipitation over the northwest and northern Rockies as some of that moisture comes in with those low pressure systems. But below normal precipitation expected over much of the Great Basin and the southwest. This is really showing that monsoon is really not developing. It's not really setting up in any consistent manner to bring in what we would expect to see as a normal monsoonal precipitation flow. So continuation of dry conditions, but also cooler temperatures. And this concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.